this week.
That's right, we will. And isn't it great to be under the big tent, Sherry Berry?
It is. It looks lovely in here.
Well, I can't wait to see what our bakers will create. Why don't we bring the bakers in? Here they are, Ruby, Martha, and Richard.
Woo!
Let's give them a round of applause.
There's the guy who kills your taste
We have our
buds.
first challenge for you this week. We want you to create 12 perfect biscuits. But these are not American biscuits. They will be British biscuits. You can choose your favorite flavor and your favorite recipe.
But whatever you choose, just make sure they are exactly the same shape and size and that they are delicious. You have 3 hours. On your mark,
Get set.
bake.
And don't kill anyone's taste buds for a treat.
What do you think some problems might be that our bakers might face?
Well, you know, a proper British biscuit is basically an American cookie. They have to be delicious to the taste and just the right amount of crispy. They have to be crispy. They should snap when we crack them and have wonderful texture. They really have to get this right and follow their recipes exactly. They have to follow that recipe.
Oh, no problem at all. I mean, following a recipe is really, really important. That reminds me of someone we talked about last week, Paul. You know, King Saul was not too good at following God's instructions or his recipe.
Is that so, Sherry Berry?
Yes, it began right at the beginning of his reign. Samuel told Saul to go to Gilgal and wait for him 7 days. Samuel was coming to make a burnt offering to the Lord for him.
So Saul was supposed to wait 7 days for Samuel to come there. What happened?
Well, basically, Saul got tired of waiting and made the burnt offering himself. He did not wait like he was told, and when Samuel arrived, he rebuked Saul. It was not a good beginning for this first king of Israel.
It doesn't sound like it. Why don't we see how our bakers are beginning their biscuits? Let's check on Richard. Chef, oui.
Oui, oui.
Burger.
Well, tell us about your biscuits.
I will be making the double chocolate fudge biscuit. It is my mom's recipe, but I have changed it just a wee bit, to make it just a bit better. I have the extra butter, I have the extra eggs, I make a few changes, and you know how it goes. Delicioso, absolutely delicioso.
Oh, that sounds scrumptious. But I hope you're not trying to do too much.
It looks wonderful there.
Thank you.
Now, Martha, why don't you tell us about your biscuits?
Well, I am making my famous peanut butter delight biscuits. They're really famous and I just make them all the time. My family loves them. I made them thousands of times.
Oh, I do love peanut butter. Are you doing anything special to the recipe to spice it up this week?
Well, not really, Paul. I believe in following the recipe. It's never let me down before.
Okay.
Sounds good, Martha.
Let's see. Ruby, you spilled stuff everywhere. It looks like you kind of have a bit of a mess. What's going on?
Well, I started making the double chocolate chunk biscuits, but I decided in the middle to switch it over to butter pecan.
You switch the cookies in the middle? How can you do that? I mean, it's not even the same recipe, Ruby.
Well, I haven't really been following the recipe, you know, I just kind of make choices when it comes to me.
All right, bakers, I hope you got your dough ready because it's time to get that dough in the oven. Please take your dough to the ovens back in the back, and we will see how those biscuits turn out.
Yes, we will be back in just a wee bit.
In a few minutes, you have 30 minutes for those biscuits to be prepared. I must say that 2 of those doughs look much better than the other. You know, Sherry, I'm pretty concerned about Ruby. How can she make quality biscuits unless she follows the recipe?
Ooh, I'm kind of worried about her too. I mean, it makes me think more about King Saul making his bad choices. One time, he got so mad that he made an oath that any of his soldiers who ate on the day of battle would be killed. But his son Jonathan didn't know about the oath, and he ate some
my goodness. I love honey, but I don't love it that much. What did Saul do? Did he have to kill his own son?
Well, no, Paul, he didn't kill him, but that meant the king had broken his own oath. It was just another bad decision by King Saul.
All right, I think time is about up. So let's get our bakers back in here and see if they made some good decisions on their baking today.
There's one on.
Okay, bakers, did all of you have time to finish and put your biscuits in the warming oven?
Yeah.
Oui, oui.
All right. Let's see here. Sherry, is it okay if I go ahead and open the oven?
That would be great. Let's see what we have. Oh, my. We've got rubies.
I need to make some space on your table there.
Yes, it does. Okay. Rishads.
The taste bud murder.
And then these must be Martha's.
Watch your hat there, Sherry Berry.
Oh, thank you.
We want
So
that.
let's go ahead and let's start giving these a taste.
Let's taste these biscuits. All right, let's see here.
Thank you.
First, we're going to taste these double chocolate fudge Richard biscuits here.
Second.
They look nice.
They look pretty, but no, I think they might be a little bit too sweet. I think Richard may have just continued adding sugar until really they're just too sweet, I think.
I think he had some problems with
Taste
being too
bud
sweet
murder.
last week as well.
I agree. All right, let's try one of these here from Martha. These are the peanut butter cookies.
All perfectly 12, look like they're the same size and shape.
I love that peanut butter flavor, just the right amount. Just a little bit of crispy, soft on the inside, perfect cookies.
Those are quite delicious.
All right, let's try these. I'm not even sure what type of cookies these are because I know that Ruby changed her recipe in the middle, so let's just try a little piece of that.
Well, there's a little bit of chocolate,
A little bit of butter. I can't even tell what flavor that is because they're mixed up together so much. You know,
those are hard to eat, Paul.
they're a little hard to eat. You know, Ruby, you just needed to follow the instructions of your recipe, just like we've been talking about King Saul needing to follow God's instructions.
That's right, Ruby. You know there was one time that King Saul was asked to conquer another kingdom, the Amalekites. God told him to totally wipe them all out, including all the animals.
That sounds awful. Did King Saul do what he was told?
Well, I know this story. King Saul did attack the Amalekites, but he did not follow God's instructions. In fact, he brought the king back alive as a prisoner. He wasn't supposed to do that. And he kept all of the good animals to bring back for himself, and he wasn't supposed to do that either.
So he made a few little changes. It is how you say here in the Americas as, what is the big deal?
Well, of course it's a big deal. I mean, he should have followed God's instructions. After this, God rejected Saul as king, and his prophet Samuel never went back to see him or help him again.
Well, I guess it is important to follow God's instructions.
That's right, Ruby, just like it was important for you to follow your recipe. However, it's time for us to choose the star baker for the week. Now let's talk about this for a second. Okay, I think the first Star Baker Award goes to